We talking rom-com, we talking action, we talking drama and movie classics. Whatever you want, yo, we have it. Cause we talking movies on the podcast. So I married a film critic. So I married a film critic. So I married a film critic. Hey honey, I just want to talk about the movie like casually. You don't have to bring up the cinematography. Honestly, let's just talk about like how the characters were fun. Married a film critic. So I married a film critic.
Welcome to So I Married a Film Critic, a discussion between a professional film critic and lecturer and me, his wife of over 20 years, who just likes to watch movies for fun. I'm your co-host, Julia.
Hey everybody, this is Barry the Film Critic.
And tonight we decided to watch this year's The Bride! Exclamation point.
Gotta get that exclamation point. Otherwise, you just shout it, which is pretty much what Jessie Buckley decided to do. I think she only had exclamation points after every line of dialogue, which is why that exclamation point is there. The Bride!
Yeah, I think you're right. But why did we decide to watch this?
Well, I decided to because I'm currently teaching a summer school film class about, it's a horror film class, and I had a section on Frankenstein, the films based on Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's novel, as well as her in general. And this is the one I haven't seen. I've seen Frankenstein Meets Billy the Kid. I've seen all of them. This was the one I haven't seen. It's like, okay, this was in theaters for 5 minutes. I didn't get the chance to see it. Everyone who did see it said, take your time. Don't worry about it. Just like, no rush. Just, you'll catch up with it eventually. But, I have to see it because I'm about to teach this class. So I watched it. And then you saw it.
No, I watched. Okay. I was sitting there when
Yes.
you put it on, and I was like, it's semi-early. I'll just start it.
Yeah.
And I got sucked in right away.
Yeah.
Because it was so bizarre, and I really wanted to see what happened.
Yes.
Yes. So I had to finish it the next day because I was so tired. But I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Likewise, but in different ways for different reasons.
Right. I
Yeah.
think we both couldn't stop thinking about it for opposite reasons.
Yeah, which is interesting, and that's one of the reasons why I hesitated, as I told you, to tell you what I thought of it, because I thought you came to me the next day and you were telling me all these interesting ideas that you had about it, your interpretation on the material, your take on the performances. And I thought, this is great. I don't want to say anything because your take on it is really interesting and refreshing. Whereas I could definitely feel like, okay, I suspect my take on the movie is very much in line with a lot of people, how they felt about it, the two people who saw it in theaters.
Listeners, he let me just go on and on about this movie and all the things I liked. And I had no idea that he just wasn't that into it.
Well, we watched The Greatest Showman together. And when it was over, you asked me what I thought. And I described the movie to you the way how I was bullied in grade school. What that experience was like. For me, it was kind of like watching The Greatest Showman. And, and I think I spent probably maybe, an hour telling you how angry that film made me. And I don't know that was a particularly productive conversation because you loved the film. This was
the first time I saw it.
Well, you wanted to share the film with me and you wanted me to see the film. And rather than have a conversation with you about it, I just unloaded, which I don't think is totally fair or cool. And in this case, I recognized like, this is great. You're looking at it in a very different way. You're responding to it differently. I don't want to shut this down. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because there's no truth to that. I really wanted to hear your perspective. That's one of the things I love about film criticism. And I was really interested in your take. As much as it was completely different from my own. So I waited till you were done with the film. I actually waited a couple days to tell you because I thought, okay, if we're going to record a podcast, I should probably tell you at some point. But then I thought, no, I can't spring it on you at the very end that I hated this movie because that doesn't make any sense. So, it's going to be obvious, if you're like, and this scene was brilliant. I'll be like, no, it's not. So... so here it is. Yeah, so you and I are completely split about the film, but I find your perspective interesting, and hopefully our listeners will as well.
Hopefully. It has been a little
Everybody
while.
has to get on the hate train with me. Whoop, whoop, all aboard!
It's been a little bit since we've actually watched it, so It's really going to be more of
You're
like,
saying you've forgotten about it?
no.
I wish I could forget about it. I've seen maybe 15 movies since this one, and I still think about this.
See, I know. Me too. Okay, let's just jump into it because it's such a weird, like, this script is weird and this opening is bizarre. And I don't actually love the framing of this movie because it's Mary Shelley in the afterlife. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's just in like a black space. And she's talking about how she has another story that she wants to tell. But she died too soon. And so she's trying to figure out a way to tell it.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds about right. So it begins with Mary Shelley's black and white floating disembodied head. Is she in heaven? Is she in hell? She's in an art movie. And we establish this concept because she's played by Jessie Buckley, who also plays Ida, this Moll living in 1920s gangsterland. And Mary Shelley, using her magical powers, demonically possesses Ida and speaks through her with this Katharine Hepburn voice that distinguishes from the 1920s hoity-toity Newsies accent that she's otherwise using. This is the framing device. This is the first scene of the movie. And I got to say, the movie lost me at hello. Because this is conceptually one of the worst ideas I've ever seen for a movie. This is crazy.
This is crazy.
This is, and and like listeners, I swear to you, I'm always on the side of the artist 90% of the time. This is one of those situations where if I was the head of Warner Brothers, I'd say, okay, you have to lose the first 15 minutes because you're going to lose everybody. This is such a bad idea. It's such a bad concept. The movie feels like we're completely in the middle of it. But even more so, it's bringing out the Hammy Ham worst and Jessie Buckley, who just won the Oscar for Hamnet, and then you get this performance. It's as crazy as when Eddie Murphy was nominated for Dreamgirls, and Eddie Murphy's fantastic. But when he was nominated for the Oscar, coincidentally, he also had the movie Norbit in theaters. And Norbit, and I love Eddie. Eddie's my top of the comedy hill for me. Eddie is my absolute favorite when it comes to comic actors with their comic vehicles. But Norbit is one of the worst movies ever made. And it was horrifying to see that in theaters when he was Oscar nominated. And a lot of people think that's why he didn't get the Oscar, because enough voters saw Norbit right after Dreamgirls. I had a similar thing here because I don't like Hamnet. I don't. I feel like it's a lot of the same stuff. I feel like Buckley is acting with the capital A, and I know she could be amazing. I've seen her in other stuff where I thought she was just terrific. But in this movie, I'm seeing technique, I'm seeing histrionics, I'm seeing hammy, embarrassing acting from the very first scene. And it's the director's fault because this screenplay is wackadoo.
Okay, I will agree that seeing Mary Shelley's disembodied head talking about this story that she never got to write, and now from the afterlife, she's going to possess this woman so that she can tell this story.
And plus, her lines, most of her lines are rhyming couplets.
Yeah.
So, she's like, hey, so you doing? Oh, hello there. Are you going to Carmichael, John Michael, George Michael? Where are you going? It's like all the lines are like these rhyming couplets. It's so embarrassing and corny.
Okay, but I have to say, when we see Ida in this restaurant, I was like, oh, I didn't quite understand the possession that was taking place. So I was like, wait, what's happening? One second she's herself, and the next second she's going nuts. And she does talk about this, the activities of this crime boss, Lupino. And she starts talking about how he's doing illegal things. And so his henchmen take her away. And I was like, wait, what? And she's so crazy. She's ranting, and this causes her to fall down a flight of stairs to her death. Okay, so that's kind of the end of Ida, really. I mean, she's in 5 minutes of this movie?
Well, this version of her.
Right.
But don't worry,
version.
folks. If you're here for Jessie Buckley, you get a lot of Jessie Buckley. I feel like there's more Jessie Buckley in this movie than there is her entire prior body of work.
He's on a roll, guys. Okay. So we're in Chicago. So we go to the other side of Chicago where Frankenstein's monster, a.k.a. Frank, played by Christian Bale.
We see him walking across the street from the back. We don't see all the makeup first. And, it's like, I know the movie is called The Bride. I know it's about her. I do. But this is where the movie should have began.
Yeah.
Because
I agree with you.
What came before is so jarring and insane. Please continue.
He's speechless, you guys.
Even talking about this, I'm just, I'm getting the shivers.
So he has his face covered with a scarf. He's wearing, a hat. And he goes to the house of scientist Dr. Cornelia Euphronius. So he read about Euphronius's work on reanimation. And she's played by Annette Bening.
Ugh, the magnificent Annette Bening, the crush of my 13-year-old self. I love Annette Bening. Okay, fine. She looks like a rooster that's been electrocuted. Great. Okay. It's a makeup choice.
Okay. So Frank goes to her because he
is horny. That's it.
Yes.
That's it, listeners. It's not about I'm looking for love or loneliness or what Mary Shelley talked about, like the darkness of the soul and the longing and no, he wants to get laid.
Yes. Well, he's like 100 years old and he's never had that experience before. It's the one human experience that he hasn't had, and
completely ridiculous, by the way. He's 100 years old. It's never crossed his mind.
No, it has crossed his mind.
Is, like now it's kicking in.
No, it has crossed his mind. But he was with Frankenstein this whole time, and he had human companionship, like just the friendship kind. But now that he's been alone,
the friendship kind. Don't you remember that story? They were not friends.
Okay, he had someone to talk to.
Yes.
But him and Frankenstein weren't going to have a physical relationship.
No, they had a falling out, though. I mean, if anything, this, again, the concept is a problem. Because what the hell has he been doing for 100 years? This is ridiculous.
Roaming the earth like a vagabond.
By the way, listeners, I know it's a fairy tale, okay? I understand that, all right? And I know it's Frankenstein, just as I know it would be Dracula, but at some point, the story needs to work. This is disconnected. And and by the way, and like I told you, even the second time you were watching it together, it's like, I don't think the writer-director, Maggie Gyllenhaal, cares about the Frankenstein story at all. I think she wants to tell this particular story. Considering how the Frankenstein aspect, it almost feels like an afterthought.
Okay. I will agree with you in the sense that she wants to tell Ida's story as the bride. She doesn't, I think she's using themes of like male loneliness, this like supposed epidemic that's out there.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
A supposed epidemic? Do you know how cripplingly lonely I am right now just talking about this film?
Okay. Well, apparently there's a male loneliness epidemic. And Frankenstein
Is there?
Frank.
Dudes, you lonely? No one told me.
I know. So Frank is the embodiment of that.
Oh.
And I think
lonely, insecure, horny men.
Yeah, I think she's making a statement that the men that complain about this could potentially be monsters.
Oh. Now I feel so seen. Oh.
No, but I think she's saying, she could possibly be saying it in a derogatory way.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But she could easily have made this Dracula, Why did it have to be Frankenstein?
Well, why does it have to be Dracula?
Why does it have to be monsters? Just make it a gangsters. It's gangland. Make it gangsters. We don't need the monster stuff. The fact that our protagonist and Christian Bale, I mean, seriously, I put him on the list of the top 5 best living actors right now. I think he's that good. The fact that he has to do every scene with his Newsies accent, bolts in his neck, and stitches on his forehead, it's embarrassing. He should have just played a gangster. He should be playing Dillinger or Al Capone or Bugsy Siegel.
You can't do that because he's a conventionally handsome man. So he can't, women would be throwing themselves at him.
What about
he
the
wouldn't,
fighter?
He wouldn't have, no.
He's not just
No.
Patrick Bateman. He can
No.
look unattractive.
Okay, well.
I mean, he succeeds in this film.
Well, I think she's just trying to make a bigger statement about monsters in general.
Okay. So
yeah.
men, generally speaking, according to Maggie Gyllenhaal, you're saying are monsters because we're lonely and horny. And this is a reflection of an epidemic of lonely, horny men, even though this takes place in the 1930s. Or 20s.
I think the time frame is irrelevant to what she's trying to say.
The time frame is irrelevant, and the Frankenstein monster thing is irrelevant. Yes,
Okay.
agreed.
So, because Frank can't traditionally get a bride, I mean, no women are going to be attracted to a reanimated monster person.
Now I feel like you're just being hurtful.
So that's why he has to go to Dr. Euphroneous. And she's...
You haven't seen Jacob Elordi's Frankenstein. Now that guy...
He's hot?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, I don't know what you're
Did
saying.
you not see that one?
No.
The Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein?
No.
It was great.
No, I didn't see that one.
It's on Netflix. Rent it tonight, listeners. It's great. If you haven't seen it, it's awesome.
No, watch The Bride.
No, whatever you do, don't watch this movie. Just listen to us talk about it and then never see it. Just kidding.
All right, so they... But Dr. Euphroneous is not... She doesn't want to do this.
Dr. Euphroneous. Was she 8 years old when she wrote this ridiculous screenplay? Is this like a movie that Maggie Gyllenhaal and her bro made when they were like kids in the clubhouse? Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if like we became rich and famous and then we did like a $100 million remake of that silly movie we did when we were kids? Remember the one about Dr. Euphroneous and Horny Frank?
Horny Frank. Okay, so they go to the cemetery and they just pick someone randomly.
Yes.
And, you know, obviously she just died, so she doesn't look terrible. She just looks, you know, sort of dead. Yeah.
Okay.
So she gets hooked up to this mad scientist's electricity voltage machine and gets shocked back to life.
Yeah.
And, oh, she puts this like black goo inside of her to help reanimate her. And it stains parts of her body. So,
Her face specifically.
and there's other places on her body.
Yeah, like her tongue, although if you really watch the film as I did, there are lots of scenes in the movie where there's no tongue on the makeup. It's an inconsistency.
Oh, okay. I mean, because there's some on her arm.
I wish that was my only problem with this movie.
Her breast, her, like, just different spots that they've put this black goo. I don't know. But her lips are black, and then it has like this like splatter coming on to the side of her cheek.
She looks like she just hungrily ate a Dalmatian. Yes.
And then her hair is all crazy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And she loses her memory in the process. So Frank tells her that she's his bride. And she just lost her memory in an accident. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. I guess we're together. Just a small lie. No big deal.
Are you on Frank's side all of a sudden?
No, I'm joking. But she doesn't know. So she's like, all right, I guess we're going to head out onto the town.
So what do you think this says about the modern male man? What would you say?
Yeah, that
about how men are liars? How about men will
Yes.
do anything to get laid?
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is saying that men will pretty much do anything to have a relationship, to not be lonely, potentially.
Wow. Did I do this to you? Let me
No.
think about it. No, I did not.
Okay, she's not saying every guy. I'm just saying...
I don't know. I kind of feel like this is speaking to me. Because I am the everyman.
Are you?
Actually, I hope I'm not.
All right, so Frank is obsessed with movies featuring this fictional actor named Ronnie Reed, who's like I don't know, who's he like?
I mean, he's a hoofer, so I guess Bing Crosby,
Cary Grant.
Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they go see these movies. They end up going to a club to dance, and there's a lot of, I mean, you had some interesting thoughts about like the club scenes in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's speaking. I think the intention is that Frank and Courtney Love. What's her name? Just the bride?
Oh, Penelope.
There you go. Sorry. I really read Courtney Love in this performance, but sorry. Okay, so I think, yeah, so they go to a club, and because they are outsiders, they're also with those at the club who are outsiders in society, and it seems like, the extras are adorned in a way to suggest the LGBTQ plus community, which is a fine idea. This is not the first Frankenstein movie to do that, but fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the creature, Frank, is watching her, and it's almost like he's watching her like in a cabaret sort of thing.
Yeah, it does get a little, she kind of gets surrounded by like 3 or 4 men.
Yes.
Who start to assault her. And Frank gets her out of there, and then they're followed, and they won't leave them alone. So Frank ends up killing these 2 guys.
Yes.
And stomps. I mean, the violence in this movie is pretty intense.
Yes. Apparently it was much worse. That's one of the rumors. I think they tested the movie and they're like, okay, this is opening in March. We're not going to put this up against Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. The rumor is that the violence was so extreme they had to pull stuff out.
Right, but we do see Frank like stomp this guy's skull into the sidewalk.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that was a lot. I was like, I didn't need to see that. So then they stow away in a train to New York City.
I agree. New York City it is.
Let me say that again.
No, let's keep that. Sorry. You can do it again. I'm sorry.
Okay. So then they leave Chicago and they stow away in a train to New York City. Cops eventually start searching all of the train cars. And so a police officer is, they like shove him off. He ends up dying on the tracks. And then Shelley like is still possessing the bride character. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of goes in and out of these, like you said, these weird accents.
Yes.
And it's very strange. Like that part.
Yeah, I'd say so. I would.
All right, now we have 2 detectives on the case. Actually, just 1 detective because this was during a time when women couldn't be detectives, apparently. So it's Detective Jake Wiles and his assistant, Myrna Malloy. So they're investigating the murders, and they're in Chicago, and they're following the clues all the way to New York.
They're played by Peter Sarsgaard, who's a wonderful actor, and then Penelope Cruz, who's one of our best working actresses. She's terrific.
Yeah.
They can't save this movie.
They can't save
no
it,
one can.
But they do a good job.
They do fine. But considering what these 2 are capable of, I mean, they're in the back seat of a car careening out of control.
Yeah.
A bumper car.
Okay.
On a broken ride.
Well,
An affair that shut down years ago. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Okay. While he's like sitting next to me watching this movie, horrified, I'm just watching all of this go down. Like, oh, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get caught?
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just biting into my.
Well, I don't think you knew at the time that I was enjoying it. Did you?
I think I did.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to complete. I would rather have the experience that we did. Again, like I felt bad about watching The Greatest Showman with you and just shutting you down. That just wasn't nice. The movie was over. I kind of blamed you for all the decisions that were in that movie. I kind of blamed you for Hugh Jackman's performance and the songs, which are terrible. It was not your fault. You are not the director of that film. But the way we talked about it afterwards, I felt bad. So subsequently, it's like even if I'm not digging a movie and I sense that you are, I don't want to take away from that.
Well, I appreciate that. But I was interested I was like, oh, this is now like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of adventure.
And Sid and Nancy, too. There's a lot of Sid and Nancy. The film about Sid Vicious, it's Gary Oldman, and Chloe Webb, I believe, came out in 1986. It's a Alex Cox film. And it's Sid Vicious completely out of control with his girlfriend. It's got that legendary scene where they're in an alleyway and they're romantically kissing, and in slow motion these bags of trash are just like falling out of the sky. I see a lot of that in this film, but also Bonnie and Clyde, of course, because everywhere they go, everything they touch turns to murder.
Yeah. And
So,
even without them trying, really.
Yeah.
Because they end up going to the screening of Revolt of the Zombies. And somehow Penelope causes chaos in the theater and they have to run and they escape. They escape to a high-class party. So this is where they pretend to be servers at this
Right.
party, which is hilarious because they don't look like they fit in as servers at all. And Frank starts dancing like that Reed character, and Penelope joins him. And this says that all the party goers also dance with them because Mary Shelley has possessed them.
where to begin here? So this is the second time we've seen Christian Bale dance like this since Newsies. I wonder if he had deja vu, like, man, I probably shouldn't have done this movie either. This scene, I mean, there's so many sequences in the movie where I'm just like, okay, this is the bottom. The movie has hit bottom. There's a moment during the dance sequence where he crunches up glass and spits it. It's one thing for the two of them to be dancing wildly, ecstatically, and it's in their head. But the fact that this movie actually turns into a big magical musical number,
He's speechless again.
God, please, yeah.
Is it because you don't like that that's unrealistic, or
Again, realism is not the issue here. It's a film that is willing to try absolutely anything, and I feel like I have my own limitations. There's a movie that came out, it's now been 2 years since Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis came out. I love that film. It's bonkers. It is. And there's a film that you and I saw in the theater together called Southland Tales, also bonkers. And the first hour of that 2.5 hour movie doesn't work, but I feel like that film course corrects itself, ironically, around the time that it becomes a musical. Becoming, like, musical numbers, I just feel like when they're in films that they don't belong, there are a few things that are more distancing for me. I loved Joker Folie à Deux, the Joker sequel, which DC did not tell people was a musical. So you got Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga in a Joker musical. I love that film, but it established up front that it's a musical, and it built as a musical. And I feel like the music, it was that wonderful Dennis Potter Pennies from Heaven thing where it's like the musical numbers take us out of the darkness and vice versa. Here it's like, let's try it. Yeah. let's have Christian Bale shout out "Putting on the Ritz" as a reference to Young Frankenstein, because why not? Young Frankenstein exists in this movie, even though that's a movie that came out in the 1970s, and this movie takes place in Gangland. So whatever. Just whatever. Let's just do whatever.
I did like the part where he talks to Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who is the actor in the movies, right? Isn't he Reed?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So he plays this Reed guy, Ronnie Reed, and Frank is so excited to see him that he kind of like forgets who he is for a second and is just like, "You've changed my life." And he's like trying to hug him and shake his hand and stuff. And Ronnie Reed's like, "Okay, haha." Okay, well, if he wasn't a monster, this would have been a really nice interaction. But just because he looks bad, Ronnie's like, "Okay, get away from me."
No, because Frankenstein's been alive for 100 years, so why would he have the ability to speak with people? Why would he be assertive? Why would he be confident? He's basically a vampire. Why would he be, anything other
I think
than awkward?
Penelope has given him some confidence.
And this is the take that she's going with, but that was the beauty of Frankenstein on the literary level, and most other versions of it. At this point, not the 1920s, but at the third act of the story, Frankenstein is well spoken. He is bitter. He is urbane. He is he is well read. This guy is hopeless. He's just basically a dumb, horny killing machine who can dance really well. He's got moves.
Okay, so Detective Wiles and the police arrive at the party. But they don't come any closer because Penelope holds Reed at gunpoint and she starts calling out men in attendance for abusing the women. So I thought this was a pretty powerful scene. It was almost like someone going to a big Hollywood party and like calling out the Epstein class for all of their crimes against women.
If that is the intent, it doesn't come across. And I agree with you. That would be...
I mean, that was my interpretation.
Okay, that's your interpretation. All right. Yeah, I wish it was anybody but the Bride of Frankenstein doing this. And this scene, like every scene in it, it goes on for way too long.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, it does go on for quite a while.
They should have danced, and then we go on to the next scene. Instead, the film kind of just stops and lays there, but it does this again and again and again.
So Detective Wiles, though, recognizes that Penelope's real identity is Ida, but he doesn't really, nothing really ever comes of that. Like, he's like, oh, it's Ida back from the dead. But he doesn't, like, I don't think, nothing ever comes full circle out of that recognition.
This is this is one of my biggest problems with the movie. I can't take any of the themes that are, I agree with you, worthwhile. The fact that it is, people have said it's a Me Too film and it's a feminist film. Those things are interesting. Those things are admirable. Those things are always worth exploring in films. But because it's Frank and his girlfriend, Penelope the bride, the film is so ridiculous that I can't get invested in a clear feminist voice that is steering this. You know? It's funny to me. I mean, this isn't the only example I could think of, honestly. There's other contrasts, but Thelma and Louise was made by a dude. It was directed by Ridley Scott. It was written by Kelly Corey, but, it's a distinctly feminist movie that a guy directed, but I felt like he got it. The themes are there, and it also tells a great story. In this case, I feel like Penelope is lecturing the characters in the movie, but it almost feels neither here nor there because it's the Bride of Frankenstein.
If anything, it's Mary Shelley lecturing everybody in the movie and using the bride just as her puppet.
And using her Katharine Hepburn voice in order to distinguish it from the hoity-toity gangster mall voice.
Yeah. Which, honestly, I think I was so into this time period and the costumes and the set pieces that I didn't care that it was... It's so ridiculous.
It is.
And outlandish.
Yes. But I wanted to be invested in what the film is about because there's a film I wrote about recently because I wanted it to coincide with the release of the movie, and the article ended up coming out months earlier because this film got pushed way the heck back. There's a film that came out in 1985 called The Bride. It's about the Bride of Frankenstein. Sting plays Frankenstein, and Jennifer Beals, a flashback, plays the bride. Clancy Brown plays Frankenstein. It's not a perfect film, but it's period set, and it's a gothic horror film. That movie has feminist themes that really come across really well. This idea that the Bride of Frankenstein, it's not about her and Frank, it's about her and the doctor is trying to make her a perfect little, it's like a Dr. Higgins sort of thing, like a My Fair Lady Eliza Doolittle thing. And she resists that because why wouldn't she? Who would want to, wear a petticoat, and submit to that? I don't feel like those opportunities here come across because the material is so outlandish. I couldn't take any of this seriously.
All right, Penelope ends up killing a police officer, and her and Frank escape the city in a stolen car. Now,
this is the police officer that assaults her on the side of the road? Or
no, this is at the party.
Okay.
She kills him at the party it's kind of by accident.
Okay.
And
oh, that's right. She shoots him.
Yeah. And Wiles...
That's accidental?
Yeah.
She shoots him.
She does shoot him, but I don't think she realized what she was doing. Like, I think later on she realizes her capabilities, but I think at this point she's never killed anybody. So whether she realized what she was doing or not, I think the impact on her psyche, if you want to call it that, she didn't understand what she was actually doing. But Wiles runs out and sees them on the street, and they're kind of having this euphoric moment where they're like, oh my gosh, Frank is just enamored with her at this point, and he's like, "You're mine," and she's just kind of like, "What's happening?" And Wiles lets them get away. So they escape the city in a stolen car. So at this point, Penelope and Frank's crime spree become well publicized, and Lupino recognizes her in the newspaper. So there's a whole scene where he executes one of his minions for failing to silence her and sends out another one of his minions to try and kill her.
It's crazy that this movie would commit to gangster movie cliches at this point. This scene where the gangsters are all sitting around and one person says something that the head of the organization hates and he just kind of casually kills him, and then it's like, okay, who's with me? We've seen this so many times. It's bonkers that this film would completely commit to one of the most cliched scenes. This is so done before.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's like, okay, this movie, I got to hand it to it. It makes one interestingly awful decision after another on a scene-by-scene basis. And then we get to this scene, it's like, okay, let's just do something we've seen in every gangster movie and then get back to the crazy.
Well, maybe in Maggie Gyllenhaal's mind, like, gangsters are already crazy just killing people in cold blood. So she's like, how can you make that crazier?
So this is I pulled it up, although I'm embarrassed to even look at this. I pulled up some choice lines from this movie. There's a line that Christian Bale has as Frankenstein, as the monster Frank, and I'm not going to quote it directly because it has it has the king of bad words in it.
The F
dash word. But I love this line because I'm like, wow, this is like this is my movie review. Thank you, Christian Bale. At one point he says, "It's terrible, but all we can do now is live." Yeah. I'm like, man, I agree, Christian Bale. It is that terrible. You are right, sir.
Is this now where they decide to become intimate?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Because they're basically living in like an indoor pool room where the pool is empty. There's no water in it. And they've kind of taken up residence.
It looks like the set of back rooms before they basically dressed it up for the movie. Yes.
Yeah. And so they
have frankensex.
They do. They have frankensex. And
apparently very good frankensex, although they only show her close up. We don't get, I mean, is it good for Frank? I mean, he's waited 100 years for this. So like he should be like Steve Carell in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He should have a dream sequence. This is where the dancing should have happened.
Oh, yes. Totally.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Yeah, that's what should have happened. Instead of having a musical number where it absolutely did not belong. I
know. Yeah, it does.
Was it good for him? We don't know, but it was definitely good for her.
Yeah, the camera ogles her. But then, I don't need to see her licking his stitches. Like, that's nasty.
Apparently there was a lot more of that in the original cut.
That was that was gross. I'm glad they cut out most of that. One licky on the stitchy is all I needed. I didn't even need that.
I want a t-shirt with that on it. That should be official bride merch right there. No. Can you say that again one more time, please?
The licky on the stitchy.
Oh, man. My birthday is next year, folks. I turn 50. I want a pink shirt. The front of it, that quote. On the back, it's just the logo for the bride. I'm not even kidding. I'll wear it. I don't care.
I'll wear it. That's what I'm afraid of.
My wife said that in a podcast, and you can download called So I Married a Film Critic. I'm the film critic. She said this. I have the shirt. Want one?
Okay, so now...
Where do we go from here?
Frank and Penelope are a full couple now. No more loneliness for him. And she's all in on being his, bride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what they never say in this film? And it should have been shouted during the sex scene. It's alive!
Oh, they
never happens.
He should have said that to, young Frankenstein down below.
His little Frankenfurter?
Yeah. Yeah, you should have said that. That would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
Yeah. Look at all of the merch we could come up with for
I
this
know.
movie.
Maggie Gyllenhaal really should have had us
She
see the
should
movie
have
first.
hired
We could have
us.
came up with a whole product
She-
line
yeah.
for a movie that no one saw.
Oh, man.
I don't mean to be mean. I'm sorry. She's so talented. And the last film she directed was very good. It's called The Lost Daughter. It's a lot better than this one.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, Malloy, Penelope Cruz, makes a connection between reports of murders and sightings of the pair in cities where Reed's films were set. So basically, Frank and Penelope are on this road trip and they're going to go to every place where these movies took place. They're kind of on a tour. They're on their own movie tour,
Yeah.
which we've done before. So
What are you implying?
we've taken
Can you relate to this part of the film?
yeah, like when we were in San Francisco, you took your own tour.
This is true.
You know, we drove all the way to Albuquerque to do
I feel very accused right now. Uh-huh.
yeah, to do a Breaking Bad tour.
We did.
We did. What
That
else?
one I will openly admit to because that one at least is cool.
Okay, what else? We've done I know there's been we went to Austin.
We did. That was the Death Proof tour.
Yeah. See? So how is this any different?
Sorry. So your point being that I'm not better than these characters because I've done this too.
I'm just saying they're doing a very American thing that people do. You don't have to just be an American to do it. But I feel like people go on these tours and they want to. We didn't do the Twilight tour, but how many people have done that?
I want to do the Twilight tour. Can I go to Forks?
We made fun of people who did that in our Twilight episode.
And those people, I envy those people. I go to Forks.
All right, so they are headed to Niagara Falls, and Wiles confronts them and informs Penelope of her previous identity as Ida before she shoots him in the foot. Actually, before we get to that, I think
Okay.
before they get to Niagara Falls, this synopsis left out a pivotal scene where Frank gets sick or is pretending to be sick because they get pulled over by a cop.
Yes.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
So they're in their stolen car and I guess she's driving too fast. And so they have to pull over
And according to a podcast interview, this is the role that was originally offered to John Mulaney.
yeah, I'm really glad he didn't do that because he doesn't need this on his resume. So Frank is pretending to be sick because he doesn't want this cop to see his face. And even though her look is also unique, it's not like other people look like her. I mean, she's got the crazy hair. She's got the black stain on her face.
Yeah.
She's wearing the same dress the whole time. I mean, do these people not ever change their clothes?
Again, you brought it up. I'll bring it back. I mean, logic does not exist in the movie's universe.
Okay. So he tells her, please get out of the car. And he's going to, I don't know, he's going to check for weapons, I guess. It ends up just being a groping session and then a full-on sexual assault.
It's basically, this is the role of the guy, in the parking lot in Thelma and Louise all over again.
Mm-hmm. And so Frank notices what's going on, shoots the guy from the car, and then he's laying on the ground and she basically rips out his tongue with her teeth. And this was super graphic, I gotta say. I didn't need this close up of what she was doing. I feel like they could have shot it differently so it wasn't so graphic. But this just shows the rage because she's been taken advantage of a few times already since she was reanimated.
Yeah.
And even in her real life, I think she was also taken advantage of. She just doesn't have any memories of it. Mm-hmm. But I think...
Why would she when she's being possessed by the ghost of Mary Shelley?
Mm-hmm. But I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is still making her commentary that women back then and even today are still treated like things and not human beings.
Especially when you're possessed by the ghost of Mary Shelley, because that takes away your agency because you're possessed, right?
Yes. Yes. Are you saying she's being
I'm
a
saying
hypocrite?
I'm saying this is reverse feminism. That's what I'm saying.
So they end up abandoning the car and running off into the field because they are like, well, we can't drive that car anymore because we've just committed another crime. More crimes. Penelope shoots Wiles in the foot. They
A
leave.
wonderful metaphor for this movie, by the way. Please continue.
Okay. So she takes, and Frank is injured. How did he get injured again?
I don't care. Let's keep going.
All right. They end up at the drive-in, and then this is where he tells her the truth of her origins.
Right.
And she's like, I don't want to be Penelope. I don't want to be Penny. And it's like, I will say, this is supposed to be like this amazing, like,
Right.
discovery,
big
reveal. And she's like, none of these names fit me. And it's like, I'm just the bride. And I was like, that's stupid.
And that's the moment where Frank goes, oh, yeah, that's really good. Oh.
Want to see my stitches again?
Licky, licky.
Well, so this part did not hit me like it probably was supposed to.
Had this been a film about, for example, Benjamin Siegel and his girlfriend, which, by the way, is the plot of Bugsy, starring Annette Bening, if they established that she had been rendered with amnesia, and, at the end of the film, it turns out that, had it been a more conventional film, had this been like the ending of like Bounce with Ben Affleck, it turns out I've been lying to you the whole time, I think it would resonate more. But the fact that it's Frankenstein's monster and the bride of Frankenstein, I mean, the whole thing is so crazy and outlandish. I mean, I applaud you for being this invested in the emotional stakes of the story, because by this point in the movie, I'm just going, oh man, another embarrassing scene. Follows another embarrassing scene.
Well, the fact that Frank apologizes for his actions and then like affirms his love for her, I was like, okay.
But wait a second. Are you letting this literal male monster off the hook?
No, I'm just saying this part didn't hit me in the feels like I think Gyllenhaal wanted it to. I think all the other themes that I noticed were more prominent for me, because I'm like, okay, so he finally tells her the truth, and she's like, I'm not Penelope, I'm the bride. Like, okay, I don't know, it wasn't whatever. But he proposes to her officially, and then then Frank gets shot fatally, and now the whole thing is she's got to get him back to Dr. Euphonius. So there's a whole chase scene, getting back to the city, and then also we see an interesting, like, back and forth with.
And I feel like Gyllenhaal is punishing me, the every male, in a very clever feminist way. She refuses to end this movie. It just keeps going and going. Like, wow. I never felt punished watching a film with feminist themes until this film. Not because of the feminist themes, just because the film refuses to end. It just keeps on going.
Well, what about the part where Wiles gives Malloy his detective badge and he's like, you're going to be like the first woman detective?
It's so silly. It belongs in a better movie. They belong in a better movie. These characters belong in a better movie.
All right. So they're back with Dr. Euphonius. We're near the end.
You can say that with a straight face. Dr. Euphonius.
She refuses to reanimate Frank, saying that her attempts to reanimate her own husband went wrong, leading her to have to kill him. Then we have the bad mob guy break into the laboratory and fatally shoots the bride before fleeing. So there's a whole thing where the police arrive. Malloy orders them to search for the mob guy. They're leaving Euphonius with the brides and Frank's corpses. So she, encouraged by Malloy and Shelley, Euphonius decides to revive the couple. So outside, the police finally arrest the mob guy. Malloy sees bright lights in the laboratory above, and inside we see the revived corpses hold hands.
They hold hands, and that's
Yes.
how it ends.
Yes.
Now, this feels like something that was put in for crowd pleasing, because wouldn't a film with a more potent point to make about the monstrous and controlling ways of men and breaking free of that, this shouldn't be how the movie closes on, right? Or we could say it doesn't because there is a post-credit sequence.
In the end credits, mobster Lupino and those involved are apprehended by Wiles and bride-inspired female rioters with his he like kept the tongues of people he killed in jars, and so they basically take his tongue, and then there's a lot of jar smashing and tongue flying. So that's how it ends.
Da 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 da. So, listeners, I on the one hand, because I appreciate your taking on this, I do. This has been cool and this has been fun, but this is where I have to remind people that
You're the critic.
I'm the critic. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I think, as is, it's an unreleasable film. Listeners, this is the opening monologue of The Bride. This is how the movie begins. So it begins with blackness. It's black and white, and we have the disembodied head of Jessie Buckley as Mary Shelley. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's me, Mary Shelley, author of Frankenstein. I know, everyone loves it, but darlings, that wasn't the half of it. What I wanted to write, what I needed to say, I couldn't even think it. Then I got a cancer of the brain and I couldn't write at all, so I died. Immediately I woke to find myself here, wherever the it is. And here I've stayed for centuries trying to find some way of getting this tumor, this dream, this story out of my head. Darlings, something is cracking. The words are beginning to come. Is it a ghost story? Is it a horror story? Or, most frightening of all, a love story? I feel like I'm watching the movie all over again, just listening to that. And I mean, I don't recommend, I know like we have some really cool, savvy internet list, like people who are just really savvy with like, films or whatever. Please don't do a side-by-side comparison of my awful performance and the beginning of the film, but I can assure you that was pretty close.
It was pretty
close.
Yeah, that was pretty close. And I never...
That is the tempo this movie starts with, and the whole film is at that level of ham embarrassment.
Well, and I never said I liked that part. Okay?
Okay.
The part
I'm not saying you did.
With Mary Shelley and the possession and Ida and all that, like you said, we could have started with Frank walking down the road and going to see the doctor and them digging up Ida. Like, it could have been that. We didn't need this mystical, whatever, demonic possession to be a part of it.
Now, to be completely fair, and I'm serious about this, there is a strong chance that within 10 to 15 years, this is going to be a major cult film. Major cult film. Halloween time will come around, Halloween costumes, and we'll know. But it will take time. Either this film is going to go away and people will be like, oh yeah, that's right, that thing. Or you'll start to see cosplaying. You'll start to see action figures. It could happen.
I think the makeup with her, with the black lips and this black splatter, I do think there will be that.
You think so?
Yeah. And the crazy hair and the period piece clothing.
Because it's been 20 years. There's a movie I saw in a theater with the director and some of the actors present, and it would be an interesting double feature with this. It is a horror-themed musical called Repo the Genetic Opera, starring Paris Hilton. That's a 0-star movie for me. It's trash. And you know what? It's been 20 years. That film is not a cult film. So I think we're safe. I think it went away. I don't have to worry about going to a party and oh my, yes, I know what that is. Why? But I got to say this, and this is a film I actually like, unlike the two that I just mentioned. Hocus Pocus came out in 1993, and that film was an instant flop. It's a Halloween witch comedy / musical released by Disney in summertime against The Fugitive, and it bombed really, really, really hard. And then 20 years later, I mean, there's action figure lines, there are books. Like Hocus Pocus is a very big deal. And it's cool because there's an audience completely oblivious to the fact that this movie was a big flop for Bette Midler, really hurt her career in 93. And now I mean, people don't even talk about beaches anymore. Like, they talk about Hocus Pocus. Yeah, and I like beaches too. But my point is, like, I would say if you ask anybody who's our age or younger, Hocus Pocus, oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's a movie I watch every Halloween.
I've never seen it.
Really?
No.
We should do an episode on Hocus Pocus in October. We should. And I will say it, I like the film. I like Hocus Pocus.
Coming soon.
Yeah, it's a major cult film.
Okay.
It could happen here. I want to be fair. Gyllenhaal might be sitting on a monster, literal monster of a cult film, and we'll know within a decade.
She'll be like 70, and then she'll be like, it finally was a hit.
These things sometimes happen. It took a while with Rocky Horror.
Yeah. Now, one of the reasons I liked this movie is just because I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know what was going to happen. I am not a Frankenstein. Like, I've not seen any other Frankenstein movies.
You haven't?
No.
You really do leave the room every time I watch a Frankenstein movie, which is a lot. I love this story. This is your first?
Yes.
I am devastated right now. This is shocking. This is your first Frankenstein movie?
Yes.
You've never seen the one with Kenneth Branagh where he's like buff and shirtless and he brings Robert De Niro to life?
No.
And De Niro has that line where, for the kindness of one human being, I would make peace with all. You've never seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. I'm so shocked right now.
It's not often that I shock him.
You've seen Frankenweenie.
Oh,
you saw the dog
I
version.
saw Frank. Yes,
that's still not the same.
I've seen
Not the
Frankenweenie.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm horrified.
Okay, but all right, I need to give Barry some like medicine to.
I just need a
calm
paper
his
bag to
nerves.
breathe into. That's all I need.
No, but I had a similar experience watching this that I did watching Mad Max Fury Road.
What?
Yeah.
How could you compare?
I'm not comparing the two movies. I'm comparing the feeling I had watching it going, what is this spectacle? What is this story?
I sat in my theater thinking, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're talking about, I mean...
I know Mad Max Fury Road is very superior. I know that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm saying the feeling of like watching something completely outrageous
Okay.
is what I was experiencing watching The Bride.
Interesting.
So
I feel like I haven't shown you enough movies now. That's what I feel like. Your husband, the film critic, is really not doing his job. But to
be fair, I just say no to so many things.
That's the thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine because then we have adventures in films like this.
Yeah.
So we land on something where
I know. And this was unplanned.
yes, after I saw it, I never wanted to talk about it again. So this has probably been good for me.
Yeah, does it feel like a therapy session a little bit? Like you got to get it off your chest, you feel better, you feel lighter.
Having had to have the movie live once again in my mind's eye has been really bad for me. However, sure. Great. I'm so glad I got to talk about this. All right, stars. How many stars are you giving this?
I think I give it like 2.5.
Oh man, that's what I give so many movies. Yeah,
I know.
Which
I could do 2.
Good.
I could do 2.
No, you can give it 2.5. That's okay.
I could say 2.5 because the beginning is like I don't like the Mary Shelley stuff. That's stupid. And then you hear her voice without seeing her head, and sometimes you see her head in the middle of the movie, and you're like, get back to the story. Like I don't need to see this lady in purgatory or wherever she is.
I didn't watch any of the interviews before the film came out, and the film was in and out of theaters so quickly that all that promo stuff basically went up. I mean, like where is it? I say that because I think I would honestly like to hear what Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale and Maggie Gyllenhaal have to say about this film. And I'm being completely sincere. I'm curious.
I did watch some interviews.
Okay, because I'm curious what their take is because as you know, I was horrified by the choices that they made creatively and also as actors. It felt very unhinged in a way that I thought was very unbecoming for a movie that actually played in theaters. However, I would be interesting to hear what they,
all right,
what they had in mind.
Just get on YouTube and you'll see.
It's not going to make me like the movie, listeners. It's not. But I am curious because justifying this film, which I can't believe actually played in theaters.
I think their experience with Maggie Gyllenhaal as the director kind of overshadowed what we saw on screen. Like, I think they had such a great time making it that it was like...
Perhaps, yeah.
You know, I think it was one of those experiences.
She's wonderful, and she's incredibly talented as an actress and behind the camera. And there are so many actors in this movie I absolutely love. I don't know if I'm ever going to watch this movie again. I hope I live a long time and I never have to watch this
When
again.
it becomes a cult classic, we'll watch it again. How about in 20 years?
Deal.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think we did it. That concludes our discussion of The Bride.